Hi guys! So I wanted to do this tag today because it looks so much fun, and again it's like reminiscing about your past, which you know I love doing. I feel like I had the best childhood ever, so I do love looking back at the past, and this seemed like the perfect one for me. So I'm going to rattle through them because there's like 25 questions, so I'm going to try and go through them as quickly as I can. My first tweet, I think, was actually to my sister, and it was because I was so completely confused by Twitter. I just didn't understand it at all. It was actually a tweet asking her what to do. So I think I was like, so Becky, how do I use this? Got really confused. So yeah, I think that was actually my first tweet, which was kind of boring. But I got so confused by it. I was Facebook for ages, and then suddenly Twitter came along and I was like, oh, what do I do? My first YouTube video actually wasn't that long ago. It was in, I think about February. It was right after my birthday, and so I did a birthday haul. And oh God, if I look back now, it's probably absolutely rubbish. I even did my hair and my makeup differently and things like that, and so I cringe when I look at it. The lighting was awful. It looked really dark. But you know, you have to live and learn. The first person that I subscribed to on YouTube, of course, was my lovely sister. How could I not? She's been absolutely my inspiration for doing all of these videos, and I just love her channel anyway. I'm so biased, obviously, because she is my sister, but she's awesome. So I had to subscribe to her, of course, first of all. I think it was shocking because it was actually probably on my last day of school, and it was kind of a non-uniform day, so it was amazing. It was a chance for us to go to town, and I think it was when we'd finished actually our GCSEs and we went back to school, and I think I was up against some blue kind of some blue board behind me. I'll put a photo of it up, and I was doing some dodgy pout. I obviously thought I looked really cool, and I was wearing the most horrific like yellow top or something and some white trousers. Oh God, it was just a fashion disaster, but I thought I looked amazing. I don't really speak to my first love, but then to be fair, I don't know if I've ever really been in love. I know this is going to sound like a Lonely Hearts advert, but I don't really ever think when I was little I ever was actually in love. Maybe I thought I was with my first boyfriend, when the guy, I talked about him in a different video, my 50 random facts video, where he engraved on the back of the shed at school R Heart H 9 times. Sad that I remember that, so maybe I did love him. And yeah, his name was Richie, and he was amazing. Well, I thought he was amazing. And actually we got in contact with each other not so long ago, and he's doing really well, so that's really lovely. When I was a baby, my mum and dad used to actually give me brandy to help me to go to sleep. Apparently, don't worry, they weren't like alcoholics themselves, like, yeah, have some brandy, child, shut up. I just, whenever you scream and apparently whatever, I think they just put a little bit on like their fingers, and you put it on like the gums, and it somehow helps them. Obviously I just got hammered and just fell asleep. So that was actually my first ever drink. But in later years, I think we actually found things like red wine, which wasn't a good one, or my dad's Jack Daniels as well. Oh, I've never been able to drink red wine or Jack Daniels since. Hate them. Oh. I did work in a restaurant with my sister, and it was amazing. I was a waitress. I was so young. I was only 13. Becky was 15, and I was rubbish. I'm not even going to lie. I was terrible, and I used to make so many mistakes. I remember one day I was carrying this really hot salmon, these 2 salmon plates. I was like, and put them on the side on this table. All I was doing was trying to get my hot cloth out because it was so hot. It was burning me. So I had to get this cloth out to try and help to like not burn my hands. But if I didn't take them out quick enough out the kitchen, the chef would go mad. So anyway, put them on the table. I swear they were in the middle of the table. Next minute, they're on the floor, and my manager Darren came up to me and was like, who's done this? So I blamed it on my sister. I was like, I think Becky did it, and like ran off. I was like, that's so naughty. And then also I was carrying 2 massive ducks. They were like duck in orange sauce. Huge, absolutely huge. Whoever can eat those is a legend because they were massive. Anyway, so this woman had come in, she was looking lovely in like some velvet dress. But anyway, she looked lovely, got all glammed up, and I just remember handing it over to her, and the next thing I knew, she was standing up, the whole table was swearing at me, I don't know what was going on, and basically I looked over at her and she'd got like a duck on her lap, and the whole thing had just flopped onto her. I was like, oh. awkward. So I was like, I'll go and get you a cloth, and just ran off and never went back. My first car I used to share with my sister, when she was travelling I actually took on hers, and it was actually just a Vauxhall Corsa. It was a black one. Probably, as always, was my mum. She always texts me every morning, and it's pretty much the first text message that I wake up to, which is really lovely because we have such a great relationship and love to always keep in contact. So yeah, I think it was my mama. I thought about my sister and I thought, she's still asleep, I better go and wake her up. She was called Mrs. Machin, and we lived in a really small school. We went to a really small school, and it was amazing. It was so cute. There was only about 4 other people in my year, which was incredible as for a primary school. It was so small, and she was so nice. I just used to love her. She was kind of like a second mum, and she was just, yeah, so lovely. Although she did tell me when she left, they did like, we all did kind of stories about what we remember, and she equally then did stuff about what she remembered about us. And apparently, she said about me, she used to ask us what we've been doing, like say we were in on a Monday morning, she'd say, what did you do at the weekend then? And obviously me and Becky were at school together, we were in different years, but we were all still in the same room because it was so small, every class was in the same room, just around a table. And so I used to apparently go, well, we've done, and I just used to make up all this random rubbish that we'd done apparently, and all these stories would come out, and she was laughing, she said it was hilarious. And then apparently Becky would then turn around and be like, we didn't do any of that, she's just making it all up. So I was apparently a bit of a storyteller, but she loved me. I think we went to Spain. We used to go to Spain quite a bit when we were little. I think that's mainly because me and my sister probably used to scream the plane down because we both hate flying and probably have done since we were little. But I think it's because then we were going abroad, but we weren't actually going that far. So my mum and dad felt like they could actually take us on that plane and we wouldn't annoy too many people. My first best friend was a girl called Fiona, who I went to primary school with, and oh, we were so, like, we were really close when we were at school. We used to have so much fun, and oh, it was just amazing. We used to do loads of paintings and things like that together, and play outside, and it was just really cool. But I don't actually speak to her anymore. I used to have this friend called Alexandra from school, and she had the best kind of sleepovers because it was like, her house was like a farm and she had all these horses, and we used to love it. We used to go into the stables and we'd be playing with all the food and things like that and mucking up the horses. I used to love it so much. It was so much fun. The first thing I did this morning, other than getting dressed, was go and feed my guinea pigs, because as soon as I wake up, they like to let me know that they're awake too by absolutely screaming the place down. They've got like this squeak and they're like, beep, 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 beep. They will not shut up until you go and feed them. Even as you're going up the stairs, they're like, it gets louder because they're so excited that you're coming in like, yes, food! Like, where have you been? We're starving! They're not starving because they're like mini rabbits, they're huge. It was a band called All Saints. They were amazing. I say like band, like they're really cool. But back in the day, they were amazing. They were so cool. Loved them. And yeah, I remember they all came down on like telephone boxes and things when they started the show. Oh my God, how much did I want to do that? It was probably when I was about 6 or 7 maybe. Me and my sister used to obviously go and run around fields, and we'd be like building dams or whatever and building dens and stuff and just absolutely loving it. But anyway, I got a bit carried away one day and was running through the fields and awkward. There was this kind of, I obviously didn't see it, but I just tripped over, and basically what happened was there was loads of ivy on the ground, so it was concealing this. In effect, I tripped over a twig. But I would like to explain that because that sounds ridiculous. It was kind of bent over like an arch, and so my foot went in it, and obviously then it was trapped on the top, and I just kind of went over and I broke my arm. I landed obviously on my arm to kind of break the fall. Anyway, so I started crying, told my sister that I broke my arm. She was like, no, you're fine, didn't believe me. And it was only when I got home and I was in absolute agony. My mum took me to hospital, and at first I was like, yeah, I really want to have broken my bone. And then actually when it came to it and they had to put this plaster on me, I was like, I don't want it, I don't want to do it. I did get my ears pierced. I hardly ever wear earrings though. Again, I think that's probably Spain. I don't know how long ago this was, but I do actually remember going to the cinema to see Titanic, and oh my gosh, that film was amazing. I don't remember going like to the cinema to see any other film. I mean, films in general, I probably watched like loads of Disney films and stuff like that when I was little, but actually going to the cinema, I think the one that I remember was Titanic, and I just remember being absolutely in love with Leonardo DiCaprio. I have honestly never actually been in detention. I've been in trouble before, but that's only kind of like a stern warning. I've never been in detention. Again, I've never actually had a roommate, to be honest. I've always lived with my sister, and even while I've been at uni, I've lived at home. So I guess my roommate is kind of like my sister. Oh God, I try and block this out of my memory. But I was actually involved in football at one stage in my life. I used to be a right tomboy, and epic fail, epic fail. I think my mum and dad used to kind of, you know, be trying supportive, and I'd be like, yeah, I've got the football kit, look amazing for my primary school team. Actually, when it came to playing, I was left back on the bench. That was my position. I couldn't play for anything, you know. Honestly, it's horrific how bad I am at football. So basically, I got one time to shine, and I was so happy. I was like, yes, this is my moment. And obviously I had the first boyfriend at the time, Richie. He was on the same football team. I was like, right, I'm gonna show everyone that I should be in this team, not just on the bench. And so I went for it, embarrassingly, and tripped over the football, basically. And yeah, the coach of the football team, who was our headmaster, was like, I don't think this is your sport, is it? If I get home kind of in the evening, early evening, that sort of thing, honestly, the thing that I love to do is just not just take off all my clothes, but get changed into something really comfy, like some tracksuit bottoms or whatever, or onesie. Like recently we've been wearing cow onesies, which are amazing, they're so comfortable, and just get something really toasty. And it's obviously getting into the season where it's a bit chillier now, even though the sun's out at the moment, but it is getting quite cold in the evenings, and I love to just snuggle up, and I make a hot water bottle, and I go and kind of just chill on the sofa for a little bit. Probably when I was at nursery, I would have thought, and it was probably completely unwanted. But yeah, it was, I think, by this guy. Well, he wasn't a guy then, he was a little kid, he was a little boy, and my mum used to try and say was my boyfriend at the time, which he was not, because I hated him. And he used to play the Lion King with us all, and lock us in the, well, they wouldn't lock us in because they were made out of foam, but at the time I was really scared, and he used to like make these kind of dungeons and lock you in them, and I was like, ah, and I think he actually kissed me, but I was just like, I didn't want it. I was like, no, go, get away from me, you disgust me. Like, he was horrible to me, so I was like, I don't like you. I really hope you guys enjoyed my my tag. Like I said, I really wanted to do it because it's just fun. I love reminiscing about the past. If you guys have got any funny memories about any of the stuff that I've just spoken about, please put it in your comments box below, because I love like hearing from you guys, and you know, reading your funny stories and things like that. It would really make me smile. I shall see you in a few days' time in my next video. Please remember to like and subscribe to my channel as always, and I shall see you lovely people soon. Bye!